What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Reverse 1999 video. Alright guys, real quick, tier list time. Prydwen, shout out to you guys again for putting this together because it does make sense. And I'm going to go through this. It's on their website. You feel free to look at it anytime. It will be in the description below. Let's go through the tier list and what it's all about. So first off, a couple things to note. The tier list is broken down by early game and late game. So early game is how the characters perform within their role in level and content up to higher levels of Insight 2. Also, characters that require less investment to work are higher or ranked higher. So this early game means essentially up to hard mode of storyline and probably up to, I'd say, artificial somnambulism 9 or 10. Okay. Late game, how the characters perform in content recommended for above Insight 3, such as challenge modes and limbo. So there you guys go. So let's see if we can put this up to 10. So early game is still considered artificial 10. Okay, so that's the breakdown there. So the criteria is broken down into damage dealers, support, and survival. Also, just a couple of things I want to note here. Ratings explained. It's going to go S, A, B, C, D, E, F. S being the best of fulfilling their role. A still excellent at fulfilling their role, only fall behind the tier by a bit. Worth the investment but starts to fall off niches or lagging behind and later in the game. Not a priority is C. D, do not recommend unless very specific circumstances. E, much like the above. F, you guys get what F is, okay? So they've added in a few additional units here. We're not going to really look into those guys because they're not in the game yet. So we're going to go look at everything else before that. So early game, I'm going to take unreleased units, early game. Okay, so damage dealers, very important. I like this breakdown because it lets you guys see who you should focus on for each role, because every team should be comprised of each of these roles, right? So very important, guys, to note that. Again, sorry for the ads in the bottom. So first off, early game, so Insight 2. Most of you guys are still here, so let's just cover this one, okay? Centurion and Eternity, two of the best sustain units, two of the best DPS units in the game easily. Okay, so S and S for early game. All right, so those are your two best units. So if you're re-rolling, guys, this would be my recommendation. Not that Regulus or that Sotheby or that Lila are bad. They're just not as good early on. Okay, but that'll change as the game progresses to late game. So don't worry about it if you pulled it. Now for the S support, NLE easily the best buffer, and Days unit for support, debuff Zeal for Bikoran Bloom and overall just utility. Sonito you get for free. She does disarm and a great amazing buff, and then of course Voyageur. So 2 6-stars, 2 5-star. 1 is free already, and you can get a lot of the artifice for her really early on, making her extremely viable for very late game, or sorry, very early game, even up to mid game, I'd say. And then late game, of course, she falls off just a tad bit, but still good enough. So if you're looking to save a lot of your summons, you may want to stick with her. If you're willing to pull, these three are definitely going to be top tier for sure. And then DK and Medicine Pocket are going to be your best healers and survival / damage units. So heal damage reduction, there's nobody better in the game than Medicine Pocket. DK is a great hybrid unit with incredible healing and also damage dealing early on. Okay, moving over to damage dealers in the A section. A Knight, unique. The only problem with A Knight is he has a little bit of mediocre damage if he's not, and he's also not fighting a lot of light units because he's a dark unit, right? Or a spirit unit, sorry, I should say. So because of that, he kind of falls off a tad bit. All right, Charlie is a great unit. I don't care. I think he deserves personally. I mean, they already have him in S in late game. He absolutely deserves S. I think Charlie is an absolute powerhouse unit for damage and dispelling. Great unit. So Druvis A I think across the board is correct. Eagle is a unit you also get for free early on, so very good plant unit. B for late game makes sense. Okay, Regulus early game A, yes. You don't see her shine until Insight 3 really. That's where she gets really powerful, or he gets really powerful. I think it's a she. So late game S for sure later on, so we'll talk more about that after. Okay, let's move over to the support. So Baby Blue, absolutely good debuff and control. Bet is a really good 3-star. Really good shield unit especially. So if you're lacking a healer, Bet is a really good shield unit. So absolutely incredible with the Trinity or Centurion, because they already have sustain with their own life recover. She can give them a little bit more power and shield, right? So incredible unit early game, but does fall off a little bit late game because shield doesn't work quite as well as healing obviously does, right? Eric, good debuff and crit support, so you don't have Tooth Fairy, that's fine. It's going to be a while till they drop. Eric could be an okay substitute for the crit support and debuffing, but again, drops off later on. Remember, these are all the 4-star characters, and she's a 3-star character. And then Survival. Balloon Party, I personally think deserves S even early game. I'm using her now, and I'm dominating this game with free-to-play. So I think this here deserves to get S in Survival. Lasaurus, I think A is great place, and I think B for late game. Oliver Fog, A and B I think is accurate, and Tenant is a shield and damage dealer. I think A and A makes perfect sense there. So there you guys have it. There's your support. I think the only change I would make here is Balloon Party would probably set up here in Survival for S across the board for early and late game as well too. All right, moving on to B. Lilani, B and C, yeah, makes sense. Lila, B, I don't agree with that. I think A for Lila. I think a little bit Regulus versus, yeah, okay, you know, I can see that. If you put Regulus in A, I would put Lila B, but it definitely goes up to S late game with I3. Insight, well, I'll make a full video on Insights as well, guys. I think it definitely deserves its own video. Matilda, B and C, makes sense. Monlik and Pavia, B and B. Yeah, B and D, this one here. I really don't know much about Monlich, so I don't know, I can't really talk about that, but I'll believe them when they say this. So there you guys have it. Necrologist, Dispeller, and Revive. So B and B, yeah, makes sense there. Twin Sleep, actually not a bad 3-star unit. Crit support and mental damage support. B and B, not a bad choice there. X, I think A for sure for late game. I might even, yeah, because Intellect is not that. I mean, Spirit, there aren't many Spirit units out there, so I can see why he's a little more niche. So it makes sense. Okay, so we'll leave him there as is. Apple, B and C, yeah, makes sense. Click, B and B, yeah, makes sense. And the Fool, B and C, sure, we'll go with that. I don't really use them much there. Going down to C damage dealers. So Rabies, C and D, all right. C and B, and then C and C for Sweetheart. And then Nick Bottom, C and C, and C and D for your support. And then Cristello here for Survival, Miss New Babel, and then Sotheby. Yeah, Sotheby makes sense right now at C. I agree with as a survivalist. Yeah. Okay, late game A, I haven't got to late game with her yet, so I can't really comment on that part yet. Okay, so going back to damage dealers, D, Bunny, Darley Clatter, Adore, and Mesmer for support. Alien T, Miss Mosane, and Poltergeist for survival. And then we have the bottom rungs here, guys. Okay, so we're not going to really go through this one at all here. We'll go back up here and talk about late game real quick, and you guys can see how this changes. Right away, Centurion, Charlie, Eternity, Lila, and Regulus. This is a perfect list right here. I wouldn't even add anyone more to it. This is exactly how the damage dealers should look. Okay, going back to your support. This right here looks really good too. This Sonita dropping down to A makes perfect sense, and then there you go. This is what I was talking about. I would put Balloon Party in S even early game, but these two make sense. DK drops, Sotheby rises up, and Tenet stays the same. Again, makes sense for the healers and survivalist. A Knight stays the same. Some people like him and would put him in S. I think he deserves A. I think that's a good spot. Druvis, AA makes sense. Baby Blue stays the same. X moves up, and then B, Eagle moves down. Pavia stays the same. Sasuke moves up. Sasuke moves up. Bet goes down. Eric goes down. Necrologist stays the same. Twin Sleep stays the same. Click stays the same. Cristello goes up. Miss New Babel goes up. And then Oliver Fog. Now remember, you might be asking yourself, why are these people moving up? Again, remember, Insight 3 makes a huge change to the way a character is played, right? Insight 3 right here. Again, I will do a full Insight video and what the purpose and the difference Insight 3 makes versus Insight 1 and 2. We'll do a full list on that as well. Okay, so moving down to the C, Lilani goes down, Matilda goes down, Sweetheart stays the same, Door goes up, Nick Bottom stays the same, Apple goes up, down, Lasaurus goes down. I think Lasaurus still deserves a B personally for healer. That's just my thing there. The Fool goes down to C, and then D you have Monlich, Rabies, Darley Clatter, Mesmer, forgot his name. It's Russian. I should know this because I'm Russian, but I can't read Russian, unfortunately. I'm half Russian. Alien, Miss Masant, Poltergeist, Bunny, Miss Radio, Sputnik, TTT, John Tudor, and Onion. That's right. That's why they named it Onion. Right there, right? You're looking at the ratings explained. Onion. All right, guys. There is your full-on tier list. I will be putting a link to this below. Feel free to check it out. If you want to see the unreleased characters and where they belong, you can also click this and kind of have a look-see in terms of the up-and-coming future characters, so you guys have a better sense of what you want to summon on. So again, shout out to Prydwen for putting this together. What an incredible video. what an incredible site. Makes my videos a lot easier to present and makes it easier for you guys to find things and where people go. So there you guys have it. This is Payne. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.